Hello and welcome to another episode of Badman Reviews, and this week we're going to be reviewing Dark Souls 3. So let's prepare to die and jump into a world filled with horrible things. I should probably start off by saying I have never played a Souls game before besides maybe 5 minutes of Dark Souls 1 before having to get off and just never picking it back up again. So this being my first Souls experience, I wasn't really sure what to expect, besides the fact that it's going to be hard and some things are going to get really big and scary. And I was right. Before we hop into all of that though, let's talk more along the lines of the basics. When you first start the game, you get to choose from multiple classes, including Assassin, Cleric, Deprived, Herald, Knight, Mercenary, Pyromancer, Sorcerer, Thief, and Warrior, which all have their own starting weapons, items, level, and even stats, making them fit for multiple different playstyles. I myself chose to play as a Mercenary, allowing me to dual wield since I love dual wielding. Alongside your class, you can also pick a burial gift that gives you a basic free item at the start of the game. These can be bombs, rings, helpful equipment, or other various items to help you through the start of the game. I chose the life ring since I knew I would need the extra health to get me through the start of the game, and boy was I right. Dark Souls right from the get-go does not give you any room to breathe. You have a few tutorial messages on the ground, and if you head in the wrong direction, you'll find yourself in the face of some strong enemies you probably shouldn't be messing with just yet. And even so, heading the right way will quickly find you in front of the first boss who, let's just say, isn't too easy. Dark Souls actually does that a lot though. It drags you into a sense of security like, hey, everything's going to be okay. You're starting to understand the game. And then a few seconds later, you're getting eaten alive by a treasure chest or a leech that fell from the ceiling or a fat lady. It's a horrifying experience, but not as horrifying as soul loss. For those of you who don't know, Dark Souls' version of experience is called Souls. As you kill an enemy, you gain more souls, and well, if you die, you drop them. And by drop them, I mean all of them. Every single piece of experience down the drain, unless you can make your way back to where you died and pick up your souls. But this means if you die while searching for your souls, you lose them all, leading to some epic moments and some moments of brain-dead thought. For example, I fell down a cliff and lost 18,000 souls back when I thought it was a lot. And on my way back to get them, I wasn't paying attention and fell straight down an elevator shaft, causing me to lose all of those souls I had collected, which at the time would have bought me a really good item I wanted or a lot of levels. On the other hand, things like this can also cause a person to want to give up and quit playing the game after an experience like that. But for some of us, it's all a part of the game and we trek on trying our best to survive. But what really makes everything worth it in the end is the world exploration. Dark Souls 3 has one beautiful world with each area being connected very fluently together, giving the feeling of a very large open world. And truthfully, even if it wasn't and each area was separated from one another, it would still feel amazing with each area having multiple paths you can take, a giant area to explore with tons of hidden treasures, areas, and hidden bosses. Some of these areas even split off like a fork in the road with me and my friend playing together and telling each other of our experiences, and I started to get confused as he told me he beat the boss of an area I had already gone through and continued to a new area I didn't even know about while he did the same thing, giving us both totally different experiences in game. Dark Souls 3 also has a ton of replayability, allowing you to re-explore and find new things or secrets while trying out new classes or weapons, since each weapon in the game feels so much different than the last, having some being long and lance-like or like a regular sword or a dagger, and you can even go more outside of the box with stuff like bows, magic, and even pitchforks, allowing for some awesome changes in the way you play the game. I can really see why people have loved the Dark Souls series for so long now. It's a fantastic, challenging game with a crazy risk and reward system that keeps you wanting to push yourself but not get too crazy as to get yourself killed. Each new enemy or boss is a puzzle to be learned and solved, and each new area is an adventure waiting to happen. And that's it for today, guys, but don't forget about Question of the Week. Last week's question was, what was your favorite Undertale moment? And I'm going to be mentioning and paraphrasing Redeemer's quote, saying that his favorite moment was a lot of the neutral endings, because they really showed a lot of what the characters were like, though they did show it in a darker way, which I personally also thought was really cool. Now this week's question is, what was the hardest game you have ever played? Let's try to keep the Dark Souls series out of it, but let's just say, what was the favorite series that you've played that was the hardest? Just like totally unbearably hard, you could never beat it, and you still can't beat it, like stuff like that, alrighty? So I can't wait to see your answers to that. Don't forget to like, subscribe, post in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next week.